So, we have Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw coming up tomorrow night for me. I'm shooting this on Wednesday, July 31st. Tomorrow, August the 1st, 7 p.m., I'm going to see Hobbs and Shaw. Well, I decided, I don't do ranking videos very much. So I'm like, we might as well do this. I own all the films anyways. We're going to rank all of the Fast and Furious films from best to worst. But we're going to go from worst to best. And let me just put this out there. There is no film in this eight movie series that I hate. I like all of them. I'm not going to say I love all of them, but I have a strong like for all of them. And I put them, so that I won't forget, I put them in my order. So first up, take the digital code out, even though I already used all the digital codes anyways. So we have The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm going to have a review for this one. This is my least favorite, but it's still a pretty good one. All about this kid who's had to move, and he has to go to Tokyo to live with his father, and he gets into racing there, and Sung Kang, or Han Solo in this film, justice for Han. You're welcome, Robert Meyer Burnett and John Campion. Han Solo promises to teach him how to drift. He meets this girl, and that's pretty much what this is about. The first three are pretty much all about drag racing. Well, no. This one is all about racing. The first one has a bit to do with cars. The second one has a bit less to do with cars and more about the crime than the first one did. But this one is mostly about the cars. Too Fast, Too Furious is it's really good. It's really, really good. I am not going to say that it is the worst. Hence why Tokyo Drift is there. This is the only one without Vin Diesel in it. Yes, Vin Diesel is in Tokyo Drift if you haven't seen it. He's in the very end credit getting ready to race Lewis Black. I really enjoy this film. Fast and Furious, number 4 in the series. Fast and Furious, I don't know why they didn't call it Fast and Furious Avenge Letty or something like that. Because the first one is called The Fast and the Furious. The fourth one is called Fast and Furious. So it's kind of confusing some people. But this one is... Oh, by the way, spoilers here. If you don't know what happens in these films, then you literally have no interest in watching these films. Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, gets in a car crash and dies. But she comes back in a later film. And Paul Walker and Vin Diesel are trying to find out what happened to her, how it happened, and take down this drug lord, this multi-billion-dollar drug cartel. Fast and Furious 6 is really, really fun. The Rock comes in Fast 5, but we'll get into that here in a couple minutes. Fast and Furious 6, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember it enough to know that I loved it. I loved it. This is a fun action film. This is shove popcorn in your face. With the fourth one, this is where they started to get their stride. They knew that if we keep going on this crime area, with Paul Walker only being a cop, and then if this happens, we're going to not get 10 films out of this, which I think is what they're trying to do, get 10 films in this series. Fast and Furious 6 was a lot of fun. Paul Walker's last full film, where he does finish the film. We get to Furious 7 next. Furious 7 is one of the only films to ever make me cry in a theater. I have loved the Fast and Furious films all the way through number 7. Furious 7, it's one of the only movies that has ever made me cry in a theater, and it's the only movie to ever make my entire theater cry. It was a full 500 people. Yes, my theater is small. 500 people bawling their eyes out, except for my buddy. He had never seen a Fast and Furious film. And we had no idea what was going to happen at the end. What happened at the end with the See You Again song and what happens there, that made me bawl my eyes out. Number 1, Fast and Furious. The original Fast and Furious is just so good. It's so good. It started it all. You get the start of the romance between Mia and Brian, Vin Diesel and Letty. You grow to love them all. And you find out some shocking things along the way if you haven't seen it for the first time. But of course, I've seen these films lots of times and I love them every single time. The Fast and the Furious is my third favorite. My second favorite is The Fate of the Furious. The Fate of the Furious is the latest film to come out in theaters. The latest film. The newest film to come out in theaters because Hobbs & Shaw is not out yet. This film... The Rock kicking a missile. I swear, they're going to be like cowboys up in space fighting aliens, driving cars, flying spaceships up in space. It's going to be so much fun, I swear to you. That better be number 10, Vin Diesel. If it's not, ooh. That is the most fun I've ever had in a theater watching a Fast and the Furious film with The Fate of the Furious. Dominic Toretto goes rogue. You got, I believe it's Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron. You have Kurt Russell in here. All the characters that you know and love besides Brian O'Connor. But we do get the baby. We get to know that Dominic Toretto had a baby. With this woman. And he names him Brian. And my favorite film of the whole entire franchise is Fast 5. That was my first movie of the Fast and Furious franchise in theaters. The Rock comes in, Hobbs comes in, and oh boy, this is one of the most fun times I've ever had in a theater. I saw this twice in theaters, and I don't see many films in theaters twice. This film was just pure fun. The first 15-20 minutes are outstanding. Hobbs just trying to get Dominic Toretto, just trying to get the whole gang, and with the switch of the safes, I had no idea that was going to happen. He opens that safe. There's no money in there. Spoilers again, if you haven't seen it, then you have no interest in this franchise. When he opens the safe, I thought, oh, there's going to be money in there. Then the music builds and there's no money in there. They show you how it happens and I'm like, oh my god. So there is my ranking of the Fast and Furious movies without Hobbs and Shaw. I'll do another one this weekend. I'll do another one this weekend with Hobbs and Shaw. And expect my review Friday for Hobbs and Shaw. And expect my reviews for Fast and Furious 1 through 4 in their own singular videos. I'm not going to do 5 through 8. Because I feel like that would be a little bit overdrawn. And I believe I have one for Furious 7. So I just don't want to re-review it. But I have not reviewed the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and Fast and Furious. So there is everything. I will see you guys for those videos later.